This girl, whose name I didn't yet know, when she walked into the church that morning, something shifted. Though she came in alone, she wasn't alone. You could feel it. Some things trailed her. The very air bent around her presence. Dominion Arena headquarters went quiet, unnaturally quiet, like even the demons in people paused to take notice. I was sitting on the front row. I had never been that close to the pulpit before, but something told me I had to be there that day. And then I saw it, the look in the senior pastor's eyes. That man had stared down witches, cast out principalities, and shut down shrines in 3 countries. But that morning, he froze. I saw fear, recognition, surprise. It looked like he saw a ghost, or worse, a god. Then he whispered something only those of us at the front could hear. In Jesus' name. His voice trembled, and right before my eyes, his pupils vanished. His eyes turned pure white. But wait, let me not get ahead of myself. Before we dive too deep, I need to tell you who I am and why I was there. I need you to understand that I didn't plan any of this. At least, I think I didn't. Maybe I did. You'll be the judge. My name is Theophilus, but please call me Theo. This was my first time ever at the headquarters of Dominion Arena in Abuja. I had traveled from Port Harcourt, desperate and half mad with rage. Not at God, not even at life. My fury had a name. Esther. Yes, I lied earlier when I said I didn't know her name. I knew her too well, too intimately. She had begged me not to come to Abuja, but my mind was made up. I was going to confront the senior pastor. Not for prayer, not for peace, but for money. I had discovered the affair. My Esther, the sweet, praying, fire-filled girl who used to cry during worship, had slept with the most powerful pastor in Nigeria, and they were still in touch. She told me he wasn't picking her calls anymore. She told me she was pregnant. I told her I was going to make him pay. If you're enjoying this twisted tale so far, please click the like button so my testimony won't be in vain. Trust me, we haven't even reached the real madness yet. Now, back to the story. I got to the church early. Esther didn't know I had left the hotel. I wore a long-sleeved shirt to hide the USB recorder strapped to my wrist. If this went well, I'd walk out of Dominion Arena with enough hush money to never work again. I knew where all the skeletons were buried. Esther had spilled everything, some in anger, some in tears. She said he told her she was special. She said he called her anointed. She said he didn't know. Didn't know what? That she wasn't just a girl. She was something older, something darker, something that comes from the sea, but is not of the sea. The first time I met Esther, she had just finished leading a prayer at our campus fellowship. Her voice was honey. Her eyes, gentle fire. The kind of girl you think heaven made on the 8th day just for men like me. Struggling, confused, seeking God. She had dreams, scriptures, discipline, or so I thought. What I didn't know was that Esther had been sent to ruin great men of God. She was trained for it. Not in seminaries, but in kingdoms where the moon listens and the waters obey. She was a siren with a Bible in her hand, and I was just collateral damage. She would pray at midnight. She would cry during worship. She would fast 3 days without food, then later go into her room and draw symbols on her wall with water. I asked once, "What are those for?" She smiled, "To protect you." I thought it was sweet. I didn't know she meant to protect me from her. It started with dreams. The pastor began seeing her in visions, first in white, then in red, then naked, standing in water, beckoning him. He rebuked it. But she knew what she was doing. She came to the night vigil wearing exactly what he dreamt about. She fell under the power and landed at his feet. He helped her up. She whispered, "I saw you in my dream too." That was how it began. She would bring him honey, anoint his hands, cry in front of his wife. She told him she was an orphan. She told him she saw angels when he preached. She was custom designed to seduce him, and he never stood a chance. Now back to Dominion Arena. The Sunday service had begun. Esther walked in, slow and graceful, like every eye belonged to her. She didn't sit. She stood at the center aisle, and the senior pastor saw her and froze. "In Jesus' name?" he whispered again. And then, his eyes turned white. People started screaming. A few ushers fainted. Worship leaders dropped their mics. One woman vomited live snakes. Yes, real ones, too. The pastor fell to his knees. He pointed at Esther. Who sent you?" Esther smiled, not like a human. She didn't blink. She didn't speak. But 7 voices came out of her mouth at once. "We have already entered you." The pastor clutched his chest. He shook violently, and then he confessed, in front of 8,000 members. "I slept with her. I slept with them." It turns out, when he had intercourse with Esther, he wasn't just sleeping with one woman. He was opening spiritual gateways. 7 of her 81 demons, yes, 81, entered him. Just the ones who were lovers. The rest waited. People ran. Some stayed and prayed. I collapsed. When I woke up, I was chained to a pew. My hands were shaking. My mouth was foaming. I was told I began speaking in ancient tongues, ones no one in the church could interpret, not even the prophetic department. I had been possessed too, just by being close to her. By then, Esther had vanished. Or rather, she had returned home, back to the sea. Hey, if you're still watching, this is wild, right? Smash that subscribe button before the demon in your phone crashes the app. Before I came to Abuja, I had one final argument with Esther in the hotel. She had cried, dropped to her knees. She told me the pastor had betrayed her too. "I was sent for him," she said, "but I fell for you." I laughed. "You don't fall, you drag." I told her I would leak everything. I told her he would pay. She said if I crossed the line, something in me would break that could never be fixed. She was right. Because after Dominion Arena, I was never the same. The priest from Benin, Father Aurelius, prayed for 3 days. No food, no sleep. He spoke scriptures I've never seen in the Bible. On the second night, I spoke in the voice of a woman. On the third, I wept like a child. I was delivered, but not restored. Because restoration takes time, and healing takes humility. Now I travel, warning churches, telling this story and showing people one truth. Demons don't always come in the night. Sometimes they wear white lace and lead worship. And sometimes their name is Esther. If you've made it this far, wow. Smash that like button, drop a comment and tell me, have you ever met an Esther? How did you defeat her? Or suffered from demonic possession? And most importantly, subscribe. Because next week, I'm telling a story that will shock you to your core. Mysterious things are indeed happening, and I'm still shaking from it. You don't want to miss that. Till then, pray. And be careful who lays hands on you. Peace.